The erotic imprint. About a year ago, I made a video in which I was explaining how I saw this concept. I hadn't read it anywhere, I hadn't learned it anywhere, it was just based on my experience. And today I want to share another aspect of the erotic imprint, which is the emotion and the emotional imprint that we bring in our intimacy. You can definitely apply this to all other areas of your life, but I'm sticking with our erotic and our intimate life. And on this note, let me tell you the emotion that is imprinted in me and in this video by consequence. As I was changing, because I'm changing clothes when I'm doing filming, I film more videos. And I was asking Julian to cover me up so that, nobody would see me change from one clothes to another, and so I wouldn't expose my skin and whatever other parts, because this is a public area and I'm kind of conscious about this. And as he was holding my drape, he was going like, there's a naked man on another bench. And I was like, where? There he is. He's sunbathing. So I was like, whoa. Why am I so? Yeah, he's in his underwear, but he doesn't really care. So I found that funny. I was like, okay, I left my bra on the bench. I left my other clothes on the bench. Okay, fine, whatever. Who sees them, sees them. So for me, this was a positive note and it was a funny note. And with this in mind, I want to bring to your awareness the fact that whenever you're engaging with somebody, you have an internal disposition. And whatever you're feeling in that moment, whatever emotion, aside from being turned on, because being physically turned on and just enraptured by this turned on and feeling some emotions, there's a difference. The emotions that you're feeling are going to be imprinted in your interaction and possibly on the other person if you're a very strong person, and if you have more energy, and if you're more explosive, expansive, extrovert, so you're pushing your emotions out, and the imprint is going to affect. You can do the same things, but the imprint, the emotional that you're imprinting there, is going to change how you perceive the actions that you're doing, how you perceive your lover, how you feel, by the way, and with the emotions that you bring to the bed, they're going to react to them in any way. So their reaction is going to alter your experience as well, in a good way, in a neutral way, or in a potentially not so pleasant way. But it's still going, so the emotional imprint, like you can come to an interaction feeling blissful. You've had a cup of cacao, or you've had something that made you a little high, not necessarily drugged, just a little high. And you bring that blissful state or that exuberant state. Okay, that's going to be imprinted. And chances are your interaction is going to feel differently even if you do the same exact things that you did, let's say a week ago or a day ago, and it turned out bad. That's the power of the erotic imprint. You can come from this emotion of tenderness. It's going to be softer. And you can do the craziest techniques out there. You can push your partner in many ways, in pushing them as in inspiring them and igniting them and arousing them in the most audacious ways. But if your emotion imprinted is that of tenderness, it's still going to be perceived more softly. And chances are that by the end of the interaction, if that emotion was strong, you can still end up in being tenderness. And feeling tenderness, both of you. And by the way, the erotic imprint can also go with negative emotion. For instance, anxiety. Some people get turned on by anxiety, let me tell you. When anxiety is not as strong as their erotic drive, anxiety just feeds their erotic impulse. Anxiety arouses them. And being in anxiety sometimes can cause this feeling of uncertainty, this fear of getting caught, of being seen, exposed. That can be a turn on to some people. It can make it spicy all of a sudden. And the feeling at the end if you've done your job well, then the negative emotional imprint turns into a positive one, turns into a one of pride. Wow, I can't believe I did this. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. It turns into a feeling of being accomplice. Man, we've done something here. Yeah, we've done it together. So it's a positive note, okay? So if the emotional imprint is good, chances are that it maintains itself throughout the episode. If the emotional imprint is in a negative way, but not necessarily a mess, then you have a chance of enjoying yourself, of giving more potential to that, more power to the engagement, and then coming out feeling, well, quite good, quite proud, coming out with a huge story to tell some of the people that you talk with about sexuality. So I'm not sure if you've ever thought of the emotional states that you have when you engage in sex, but they're present. You can't control them, by the way. You cannot have any emotional imprint. You just can't. Your erotic life, your erotic imprint is made of emotions, and how these emotions are moving your sexuality, how they're changing it, transforming it, guiding it into different directions. So trying to stay away from an emotional imprint, that's futile. Trying to be more conscious of it and working with it, no matter what it is, as long as the episode is consensual, because you can have an emotional imprint while engaging sexually with somebody that you don't want to. That's also there. But chances are it's not going to change because it's not consensual. When it is consensual, when you are enjoying yourself, working with this consciously and just letting it be and letting it transform is an art. So this is what I would say about the erotic imprint. Now I'll leave you once again with my naked neighbor, and I hope that you enjoy him as much as I did. As it turns out, because Julian was the one filming, my neighbor was actually naked the entire time. Full Monty. Yeah, talk about courage. Hey, he went up a level in my scale of being crazy. So yeah, enjoy this. And we're not going to show his intimate parts. It's in a public space, so yes, we did film. But hey, if he's taking the chances of getting, I don't know, fined for this, fine, it's his chance. That's erotic expression, that's an erotic imprint over there, very strong one. And wow, my respects to that guy. So I'll see you next week.